looking at my hair. Oh my gosh, I did wash it tonight, and but yeah. I mean, we're in lockdown right now, so there's no haircuts on the agenda unless I do it myself, and I can tell you that's not happening. So, as people come on, uh, please say hello and let me know where you are, because I love finding out where my people are. Give me a second. I'm just going to go on to my channel and make sure I'm in the right place and that I'm showing up well. Can you all hear me? That's the big question, of course. Yep, looks good. So let me see. I'll go in there and then I'll be able to see comments. All right. And there aren't any yet. Wow. Okay. But I can see that someone's here. So please say hello. Hey there, Cindy. Hi. This afternoon I had to say goodbye. I'm so sorry. I had to take my son to work. He works at KFC. Hey, Cherie. Hi. He works at KFC and he's 15. So this is his first part-time job. Hey, Kay. Hey, Deb, everyone's popping on. So yeah, first part-time job. And even though we're in lockdown, KFC has been, I guess someone decided that it's an essential business. I guess people need their KFC. So he still has work. So he's only doing usually one shift a week. But he went to work yesterday, thought he read the roster wrong and showed up yesterday and he wasn't meant to be there. He was meant to be there today. So they let him work for 4 hours. I think they took pity on him. Felt sorry for him, let him work 4 hours yesterday or 3 hours. And then he had to go back and do another 4 hours today. So there we go. Hey, Anita. Hello. So, I hope everyone has been well. How's this week been for everybody? Anyone struggling in lockdown? I did a Zoom class yesterday with some of my lovely customers, and I have to tell you, it was really, really lovely. It was just so nice to see people there. And at the end, it was lovely to hear them say it was lovely to craft together, to do something with someone else. Even though it's on a screen, it's still great. Or your kids started in fast food? Yeah, nothing wrong with that, right? I think it's great. My daughter always said she didn't want to work in fast food, but Ben was like chomping at the bit the second he was old enough. He was, Mum, when can I get a job? When can I get a job? So I think what he really wanted was to have his own money to spend. But he's really enjoying the job more than he expected. Right now, we're doing a little bit of a disciplinary thing with him where we've actually told him he can't spend any of his money, which is actually for the first time he's building up some money in there because he's not spending it. So hopefully that might be a good lesson that if you don't spend your money, this is what happens, and then you can buy something much better. I hope that's how it works. But I think more than that, he's getting great skills at work. He's had to deal with irate customers. He's had to deal with all kinds of stuff. Has to man up and tell people that sorry, there's only 6 people allowed in the restaurant at the moment. You'll have to wait outside, and that's a big deal for a 15-year-old to have to tell people that sort of stuff. So it's good for him, I think. Okay, just reading through some comments. Yes, I know. We are getting used to it. I don't know whether we like it as such, but definitely it doesn't feel as scary this time. And it probably is. It probably is actually more scary because certainly this is the biggest outbreak we've had in New South Wales. But we don't have any in this area. I think we had 2 at the very start, a husband and wife, and then we've had one person who brought it up from Sydney because he was working on a construction site. They're the only ones I'm aware of, unless there's any new ones that I don't know about. But they've all isolated. There's been no exposure sites locally, so touch words. Let's hope that continues. And everyone just does the right thing, right? So those of us who have a hobby, like us crafters, are finding this probably easier than a lot of people who don't have hobbies and other things to keep them going. So I'm really, really glad. I'm really, really feeling very grateful to have this fantastic hobby and also to have this screen. I can talk to you guys, you can talk back to me, we can read each other's comments, I can do Zoom with people. There's so many great ways to connect, even if we're far apart. So I think it's pretty amazing, really. I'm sorry, I keep taking my eyes off the screen because I'm reading your comments. salami. Ooh, homemade, Trudy. That's pretty cool. Hey, Beryl, nice to see you here. Good to see all the peeps popping on. That's awesome. Yes, very good for building confidence and a work ethic. I agree. My first job was in a shoe shop. Actually, tell me, write in the comments, what was your first job? Okay. Whoever would like to answer the question, what was your first job? And are you glad you did it? Do you wish you'd done something else? Or, was it good for you? Was it not good? Was it a great experience? I'd love to hear. That'd be fun to talk about. My first job, like I said, was in a shoe shop. It was one of those shoe shops, like it was called Easy Walking Shoes, and it was like up where they had racks and racks, like Payless shoes for anyone who knows them, like racks and racks of shoes on the shelf. It's not like a fancy shop; it was like a budget shoe shop, but it was really great. I got to um, help people of all ages get down on the floor and help them choose the right shoes, the right fit, all that kind of stuff. And I think that was really, really good for me as a first experience. No cases there either, Anita. That's good to know. Yes, I agree, Judith. That's so true. Good to have hobbies. Toy department at Grace Brothers. Ooh, I remember Grace Brothers very well. I actually, for a while, worked with a gentleman called Michael Grace, and he was from the Grace Brothers family. Not at Grace Brothers. I was working in a call center, but I remember working with him for a while. Well, that was very handy. You had parents that had milk bar, and yes, it was a really, really good springboard, those kind of jobs. Dealing with the public is an experience you can't replace, right? Ah, wow. Did you have to do a lot of study, Cindy, to become a nurse at that age? Yeah, I'm glad you didn't kill anybody as well. That's definitely a plus on your resume. Oh, yeah. Coles, yes. After I finished my stint at Easy Walk, and I lost that job under very dubious circumstances. The person my boss did the wrong thing. He was not a nice person. And these days, if I had a lot more confidence, he could have been slapped for, we could have taken him to court. We could have, yeah, but back in those days, it was a different world, and I just got out of there. So then I went and worked at Coles, and I worked at Coles for probably a year and a bit, year and a half, before I went overseas when I finished year 12. So, yep, Coles was good. Yes, there is a lot more study in nursing today. That's so true. And so it was on the job training for you, Cindy, is that right? Oh, Macquarie Shopping Centre. Oh, there you go. Ron Wilson, the TV guy? Is that who you mean? Oh, it's fun looking to see what everybody did. Yeah, definitely. A whole different world. My husband's mum, she had her children young. When I say young, I mean really young. By the time she was 18, she had 3 children under 2. And my husband is the middle child. He has an older brother who's 10 months older than him and a younger sister who is 11 months younger than him. So isn't that crazy? Isn't that the craziest thing you ever heard? I would have gone mad if it was me. But she left she had to drop out of school and everything to do this. So it was a big deal for them, and are they still together? Yes, they're still married. And when the kids were teenagers, she went back to school and got her nursing degree and ended up becoming the matron of a 150-bed hospital. So, yeah, that was kind of a pretty cool thing. And I know my husband is very, very proud of his mum for doing that, because I still remember her studying when they were teenagers. So pretty amazing. Yeah. Yeah, shoe shop's a great place to start. All right. Well, we can't chit chat all night, right? I mean, we could, but you're here to see me do something a bit more interesting than just talk about stuff. So let's get this phone turned around, and I'm going to have a bit of a play tonight with some colour. So give me a second, and I'll switch this around. Okay. All right. Always find when we talk about those kind of things, it's interesting because people very often have similar experiences, and that's when you go, oh, hey, me too. All right, piece of white paper. What I'm going to do, I have One of my customers contacted me today and asked me, what color should I use to make a sunset? You know, what colors would go really well? And I was thinking about this and I thought, you know what, that'd be a really fun thing to do tonight, to actually have a bit of a play. Now, in the past, I've done most of my sunset kind of scenes where I use different colors in my background. I've done it with brayers, but we don't have the brayers anymore. They went in our last catalogue, and now we have these amazing things, which are the sponge daubers. Okay, and you can see I've got a few different ones here. Got yellow and orange. Well, this was actually used for Calypso Coral, but you know, you could use it for any orange colour. And I've got a purpley one here because I think that would be nice. I thought it'd be fun to put our new colours to the test and see how they look for a sunset. I think they might look quite nice. And then I'm going to show you how I'm going to layer some stuff over the top, and we'll make a silhouette sunset card. Okay, so I've got a couple of different options. I've gone and got some yellows and orangey kind of tones. The terracotta tile that we had that was in the last lot of in colours, that one just went, and that would be quite nice. I have used that for sunsets, but we don't have that one anymore. Also, I remember using Rococo Rose because sometimes a bit of a pinky colours in your sunset will look really nice. I have also pulled out the new in colours, these ones which are Pale Papaya, Fresh Freesia and Polished Pink, and I thought we might have a little play with those and see how they look for sunset. So let's just experiment. I haven't actually put these colours together before, but I'm going to have a bit of a play and see how they look. So I'm going to start from one end. This is going to be a portrait card, but I'm going to start building my colour from the top, and so I'm going to turn it on the side for that because I'm right-handed. So I'm going to start on my right-hand side and work my way down, okay? So similar to what I would have done if I was brayering, but we're using the blending brushes instead. So this is Bumblebee, which is a pretty strong yellow, and I'm going to start at the top, and I'm just going to start to work my way down. Now that's the other thing, is how far do you go down? Well, it really depends on what elements you're going to put over the top. There's a number of different ways of doing this. All right, so that's my first layering. You can see these blending brushes. If you don't have them, definitely think about adding these to your collection. There are 3 in a pack, and they come, you know, they're like little bristles, okay? So they're just white bristles. This one I've used for color before, but they are white when you get them. And you can wash them. They wash up quite nicely. Do I wash mine? No, not usually, because I'm too lazy. Sorry. What I tend to do is I tend to start with a color. Like if I've used this one for yellow before, I'll always use it for yellows. So I just keep it in my stash of blending brushes, and I know it's my yellow one. But you can certainly, if you only want to have 3, you can certainly wash them each time and keep them nice. But yeah, I'm a little bit lazy. I like to just say, okay, I'll use that one for yellow now. Right, so because I'm starting from this end each time, I'm building up a little bit more color here at this end, one more time. And you can see the blending brushes do such a nice job of blending. I mean, you can't even see the lines or anything there. They're terrific. Really, really love them. I know, I agree. Thank you for saying so. Those brushes are the best thing ever. Exactly, they are. They're really, really, really fantastic. Just taking a moment to read some comments. So your husband was it in the same shop? Anita, your hubby and were working in the same shoe shop or different shoe shops? So, yeah, it probably did make you a better nurse, Judith. I mean, you know, I think there's nothing like experience, right? That's a good idea. Yep, you can use a microfiber cloth. Keep that handy and clean them up as you go. That's a really good idea. Maybe I should try that. Yeah, you can do that too. You can rub them off on some paper towel and get most of the colour off. Like I said, I just keep mine always for the same colour. I'm going to move up to the next colour here, and now I'm going to add some Calypso Coral. So let's see how this looks. I mean, it even looks nice just in the yellow, but it doesn't look like a sunset. So I'm going to bring down my Calypso Coral, but I'm not going to go as far as I did the first time. So I'm starting at the top, and you can see where you start that's where you get your strongest colour, up the top here. So I'm leaving some of the yellow still sort of at the bottom there. And that's what gives that sunset look, right? It's looking nice. And then I'm deciding, maybe I'm going to try with the pumpkin pie, and I'm going to use the same brush. Because I need to buy some new ones actually, and I do need to probably sit down and clean the ones I have. Now this is going to give it a little bit, the pumpkin pie is a bit more of a yellowy tone than the coral. All right, starting to get some nice colour build up around the edges here. It's looking good. So you could just leave it like that, okay? You could say, yep, that's my sunset. That looks pretty nice. Or you could come in and add a stronger colour just around the top, around the edges, either a pink or a purple. Another colour that works really well is either, Gorgeous Grape is very strong, but I'm going to maybe add a little bit of Highland Heather because this will be nice around the edges. So let's try this, which is my purple one. And it's almost going to mix with the orange and go a little bit brownish, but that still looks like a sunset to me. Because when you look, something you want to do, and most people don't ever think about it, you think sunset, you know, yellow, orange, whatever. I don't know if you can sort of start to see this colour coming through here. Get a couple of pictures of a sunset. Go online, Google or Pinterest or something, and pull up a couple of sunset pictures and really look to see what colours are in there. And you might be surprised what colours are showing up in there. All right, so I'm going to call that done for this card. We're just going to go with that. As you can see, it's super, super easy. And okay, so Cindy knows this. I went and bought, because I had been thinking about it anyway, let's be honest. And then Cindy sent me a card, a beautiful card, which I'm so grateful for. And the card was the made with the meadow dies and the meadow Quiet Meadow stamps. Let me just quickly find the Quiet Meadow stamp for you. Should have had that out before, shouldn't I? What have I done with it? I'll find it in a second. But here are the dies. This is what I really want to show you. If I can get them out of the packet. Now these dies, I think they're fantastic. I mean, the whole bundle is really, really lovely, but the dies are, they're the bomb. They're really fantastic. And you can see there are so many different shapes. There's leaves and there's flowers and different foliage and bits and pieces. There's a tag and a label. There's some butterflies. There's some leaves. There's lots and lots of cool things in there. So you don't have to sit there and watch me cut them out. I've already gone ahead and cut some out. I cut them out of black, okay, because I want to create, like I said to you before, I want to create a silhouette card. So I'm going to start layering these on here and just see what they look like. And there's all different ones, you know, you can have them going wherever you like. Oop. This one, there's a couple of butterflies. This butterfly looks like he's landing somewhere. And this one I haven't even popped out to use my little die brush here and get rid of these little bits. Gives you an idea anyway. Doesn't look nice, the sunset kind of look coming out from behind. Super, super easy. I mean, what an easy card is this? I think it's easy. I might use this one on my next card. What ones have we got left? I might use that one instead. Mucking around here, deciding where they should go. I kind of like it like this. So I'm just going to go ahead, and I've got some Tombow multi-purpose. It does look good, doesn't it? And it's such a simple thing to do. So we just sort of coloured up the background with the blending brushes, cut out some different leaves and bits and pieces in black, and just pop them straight on top. I mean, super easy, super easy. And it looks like you've gone to lots of trouble, and you haven't. And I love that. I'm just using multi-purpose glue to pop those on, because that's the quickest way. You could use some fine tip glue too, but Tombow is my favourite for this kind of thing. And it doesn't matter if they kind of overlap a little bit. I mean, they would in the wild. They're not going to be all separated. And I want one taller one. I'm thinking this one. It's a simple thing to do. Now, any of our foliage, is that the way I want it to go? Oh, that's the way I want it to go. Any of our foliage kind of stamps or trees make a really great silhouette idea if you've got any tree dies, all that kind of stuff. There's that Beauty of the Earth one that's got those lovely trees in the new catalogue. That would look really good with this. I don't have those, but they would look great. And then I'm going to put this little guy. I could put him on just with a glue dot and pop his wings up, which would look kind of nice, but he's meant to be a silhouette, so it probably doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to glue it down this time. So it's a nice way to show you how amazing these dies are and what a great set this is without, you know, going to a heap of trouble. It's very, very simple. I'm just going to chop off these little stems so they're in line with the card. Now, also in this die set is this little label, and I've already cut a couple of those out. So they look nice. They look nice down the bottom here. And now's the bit where it would have been nice to actually have the stamp set. And I have put it down just before I started this. And of course now I can't find them. Well, isn't that the way? Have one more look in my shelf. The problem is I have too many stamps. Anyone else relate to this problem? Too many stamps, which means that when I sit down to create, I have to go looking through, and I don't have as many stamps as you probably think I do either. I actually move all my stamps on. So as soon as they retire, as soon as they retire, I should take them off the shelf. But sometimes I don't. And when I don't, I'm immediately regretful. So right now, I haven't gone through and taken all the mini stuff out yet. So I'm going to use a stamp instead because I can't see my Quiet Meadow set. I'm going to use a stamp from this one. This is the Hey Friend stamp that I'm using, and it's from the In Symmetry bundle. In Symmetry bundle is fantastic. Okay, I love the font. Love this font. Oh, it doesn't want to come. Let's stick it on there and make it stay. All right. Now, I think for this, I will go with Memento. Seeing as we've got so much black on here, I don't want anything. I could also have used maybe one of my colours, but I'm going to go with the black. Isn't that a gorgeous font? Love it. All right, I'm going to pop this on with a couple of dimensionals. And then probably you could use any of the colours that we have used as your backing, okay, your card front. You could use any of them, but probably in this case, I'm just going to go with black. Moving it to one side a little bit. There we go. I do have a black piece here. So just like this. because I think having it on the black actually lifts the whole thing out. And I think we would need some bling as well. Don't you think so? So this is sunset number 1, okay, with just yellow, orange, and a little bit of purple at the top, which you can probably not even see that it's purple, but it just gave us a bit more depth. And I probably would add some champagne rhinestones. They'd be nice. Or, tell you what else would be nice. I've got here some In Colour Jewels. And the pale papaya ones, which are this apricot-y kind of colour. I might stick a couple of those on there because I think they'd be rather good. And I've got a larger one here. All right, and I'll finish this card off and post it tonight on my Instagram and Facebook page. So maybe I'll put one in the middle of the butterfly. All right, so that's how that's going to look when we're done. Cool, huh? Isn't that simple? So there you go. All right, so that's card number 1. Let's try again and do something really, really similar. This time I'll use the remaining dies. And deciding what color. I do usually start with a yellow, usually, but this time, because it's here, I'm going to start with pale papaya. Get some of this color off. The coral is the closest to the pale papaya, so that's the one I'm going to use on here. Let's see how this looks. So this is me experimenting as well as chatting at the same time. Bit more colour. Also, something to bear in mind, if you're going to be using the blending brushes, you definitely want to have re-inkers for your inks, because you're taking the ink off the top of the pad, so you are going to go through ink more quickly, so you will need to have re-inkers to re-ink, so when they start to lose colour, you can just replace them really, really quickly. Now, don't worry if when you're doing this, some of the colour seems to be uneven. A couple of reasons not to worry. The more you go over it with your blending brushes, the more it evens out. So that's the first thing to remember. The other thing is that sky isn't necessarily all the same anyway. You quite often have light and dark, so a little bit of different variation in colour isn't a bad thing. It's going to look quite natural. All right, so that's the pale papaya. So you can hopefully see it's definitely not as yellow as last time. Let's bring that card back in. So you can see this was quite yellow here, but this is more of an orangey apricot-y tone. All right, so then I'm going to go with, which way will I go? I'm going to be a little bit brave, and let's go up to the fresh freesia and see how that goes. Does anyone else like making sunsets, or is it just me? I'm a big sunset lover when it comes to both the real thing and recreating it. I remember I did a couple of sunsets a couple of years ago that ended up looking more like a bushfire sky, and at that time we'd had all the fires and things here, and that wasn't so great. I stopped making those for a little while. All right, so you can see we're getting a completely different colouring this time. All right, just by changing these colours, obviously, it's going to give us a different result, but hopefully still look like a sunset. Now, I'm thinking the polished pink is going to be too strong. I think that colour is going to really jump out. So I'm thinking I might choose a different pink. Maybe I'll put the polished pink right on the very edges, maybe. It's looking interesting, isn't it? Ah, there you go. I see more sunsets than I do sunrises. I don't get up early enough very often to watch the sunrise, which is a shame. In the warmer weather I do, but not in the cold weather. In the cold weather I just want to stay in bed. So not great for, let's try Flirty Flamingo. All right, so this is actually, the color on the outside here is not, I don't think it's all that great, to be honest. It doesn't really show you what your color's like. So let's have a look, because it's fairly bright. Yeah, this is better than the Polish Pink. It's going to give me a more pinky tone, but not as strong. So every time you do it, you're going to get a different result depending on how much of each color you use and which colors you use. And I think it's kind of fun to play around with different colors and see what they look like. Oh, rich raspberry around the edges. That might be nice. I was also thinking maybe I add a tiny bit of the Polish Pink just to see what it looks like. But yeah, rich raspberry is a great choice. Or gorgeous grape would be interesting around the edges. All right, can you see this now? This is turning out actually really, really pretty. Look at that. It's different. Again, totally different to this one, which is a lot more orange. There's a lot more of the pumpkin pie coming out on this one. All right, let's see. Looking at my collection, rich raspberry. I'm going to take your advice, Cherie, and that way, if it doesn't turn out, I've got someone to blame. I'm just joking. Of course, I wouldn't do that. All right, let's see what happens. See the color of this? How purple it is? All right, let's see. Another color you can add around the edges if you want to give the impression of a night sky coming in. Believe it or not, Night of Navy around the edges, or Misty Moonlight if you don't want to go as strong as Night of Navy, actually looks really great. Oh, look at this. Look at that. That's kind of nice. What do you think, guys? Yeah, I really like them. I'm just joking, Cherie. I wouldn't really blame you. I'm the one doing the thing, right? Add a little bit more. There we go. So we've ended up with quite a dark, rich raspberry look. So let's see what flowers we've got. Okay, I've got a, well, this to me looks like a cornflower. And then we've also got a sort of a long skinny one here. And this is just some leaves, which look rather nice. And I thought on my cornflower, we might have our butterfly landing on there. What do you think? Does that look about right? I think it looks good. So here we go. I'm going to add a little bit. So what I like to do with my Tombow is just add a little bit here and there. You don't need to do the whole thing, but just enough to hold it down. And I usually make sure it goes onto any sticky outy bits. That's the official term, sticky outy. That's what I think it should be. And then this little guy here. And there's a lot of sticky outy bits on this one, so I'm just going to do the biggest, most pointy ends. If you don't have Tombow, definitely think about, this is called Tombow, think about adding it to your collection. I find it is a very forgiving adhesive because while it's wet, you can move this into place and change your positioning if you need to. So it's pretty cool, but also it's really handy for putting little things on like this. And it's cheap. This is not an expensive adhesive. From memory, I think it's $7. Ah, you're in bed, Jenny. Well, that's I must say I got out of bed very, very late today, but I'm going to guess that are you not well? Is that why you're there? Got to cover the sticky outy bits. Absolutely right. Now there's a lot of, see the big long sticky outy bit there, so I just want to get a little bit on the end of that. Uh-oh, I think Cookie's getting warmed up. He's starting to make noises. My husband and my son got the open fire going today, and gee, it was nice. I went to sleep on the lounge earlier. It was lovely. So I think this looks like a cornflower. That's what I think it looks like. Or is it something else? What do you guys think, this one? I'm going to put this little guy here. It's actually the back of this die, but because it's a silhouette, it doesn't really matter. Okay, let's snip off these edges. So you could all make these cards now, right? So think about what foliage dies you might have. If you don't have any, strongly, highly recommend these ones. They are fantastic, and there's so many dies in the pack. It really gives you a lot of scope to work with. How many dies are there? Let me have a quick look. 13. They are in the book. I really, really like the colours in this. It's not, maybe a little less sunsetty than the first one, but I really like it. I think those colours are really nice. Thank you for the suggestion of the Rich Razzleberry, Cherie. That's a really good suggestion. You can leave it to dry. That's a good point. Definitely. Where is it? Quiet Meadow, it's called. And so this is the Quiet Meadow dies here. The Meadow dies by themselves are $66, bundled in with the stamp set, which is on page 110. Let me show you that. It's $92.50 for both the dies and the stamp set. So 110. So if you're looking for something really cool to put on your order, I've given you hopefully some good suggestions tonight. We've had this is an awesome bundle. I am thinking strongly about doing my next online specialty class with this because I just think there's so much scope to do so many different types of things. So that is a strong possibility, and that will be probably going live at the end of this coming week. And the online specialty class will be sent out the following, like the supplies will be sent out the following week. But we've used these. We've used the blending brushes. The blending brushes are $21 for a pack of 3. We've used Tombow multi-purpose glue, which I think is super useful, and we've used some fun colors. Look at these. Aren't those colors nice? So this one I'm going to do the same thing with. I'm going to, in fact, maybe this time I might use my Rich Razzleberry. And I'm going to use that same Hey Friend stamp. Just bring that in for a second. And I'm going to stamp that here because I like the font so much. And I'm going to pop this on here. That razzleberry goes really rather nicely with the razzleberry that's at the top. And would I put this on a black piece again? I could, or I could put a Rich Razzleberry piece behind, although the black does make it pop, definitely. Something else you could do, which I think is a really nice idea, if you have any Wink of Stella, is you could colour some of your black in with Wink of Stella. Like I could colour my butterfly. You probably won't be able to see this very well on the video. I'll see if I can catch it in the light in just a second. So if you want any shiny bits, yeah, I really can't see it very well. I don't know if you can. A little bit, you can see it. But yeah, using a bit of Wink of Stella over your black shapes is a nice idea as well. And that makes it look a bit more special. You could do it over the whole thing or just the butterfly. And then I will put this on with a couple of dimensionals. 1, 2, there we go. 1, 2. How are we going for time? It's 8:10. Gosh, I've done very well tonight. Haven't really been all that long. And we've made a couple of cards. I am leaning towards using the black behind. I do like the way it pops out. Okay, I've got one more thing for you, if I can find any. Something that you can do. Oh, I've got a water bottle here. Not that this is the reason. I've got 2. But this one is from yesterday. But this is something that I could do, and I probably should have done it before I added my black. But I'm just going to get my fingers wet, and I'm actually going to flick this on here. Now, when you build up colour, This is just water, okay? When you build up colour and you flick water on it, the water starts to bring the colour, pull the colour out. And I don't know if you can see this. Can you see it? See how I'm starting to get that lovely little splatter thing going there? I think that's a really, really nice, a lovely thing to do. And it doesn't, even after I added my black, because it was an afterthought, it still looks good. I could do it on this one as well. I'm not going to. I'm going to keep one with the splatter, one without, just so you can see. And I'll put these two up on my Facebook page and my Instagram page, and that will give you guys some inspiration, hopefully, and you can have a little play and see what you can come up with. I'd love to see your sunset cards. All right, so I can do one more card. It's only something in my head, so I'll have to cut it because I haven't even prepared. But if you guys, seeing as we've got through this so quickly, it didn't take very long at all. I'm thinking that maybe I will quickly do one more thing for you. Has everyone got time? Anyone need to trottle off? It's always interesting after you've made these kind of cards, you're left with a really interesting collection of shapes and colours on your scrap paper. Yes, you are going to get into my head, I know, right? All right. I started to look at this paper the other night, and then we ran out of time, and I said I might do it Sunday night. So I'm thinking tonight's the night. Let's have a little go. I don't have the matching stamp set. So this set is called, this suite is called Bloom Where You're Planted, and you will find it on page. Let me tell you very quickly. So here's the paper that I'm looking at right now. It's called Bloom Where You're Planted, and this is one of the papers that's on special this month. Okay, so if you're looking for a good deal at the moment, the papers, all the standard papers, not the specialty ones, but the standard $20 papers, all of those are on sale, okay, in the annual catalogue. And they're 15% off, which means on a $20 pack, you're going to save $3 on each pack. So if you're buying a couple of packs, you end up saving enough to cover your postage, which is fantastic. On top of that, there is one other one that is probably, in my opinion, the best deal that is going at the moment is the In Good Taste paper. This is a double pack of paper. So instead of being a 12 sheet pack like normal, it's a 24 sheet pack. So you've got more designs. You can see how many there are. These are fantastic. Normally it's $37, and with the 15% off sale, it's $31.45. So definitely a great thing if you're looking to do really well at the moment. This paper is beautiful. It's the bomb. It's not the one I'm using tonight, but it's fantastic. So let's grab a couple of note cards and envelopes. I'm a big fan of note cards and envelopes. I've got lots and lots of them sitting on my shelf. And I'm going to pull some out, deciding which ones. I've got white and I've got vanilla. Maybe, let's see what colour is in the paper. I think vanilla would look good, but the colour, it's actually white that's in the paper. So I'll start with white. So these have been in our catalogue for years. You get 20 cards and 20 matching envelopes. So you can see they're a smaller size than normal, but they're great if you're looking to, if you're a beginner, you're not sure where to start. This is a really, really great place. They come already pre-scored, so you don't have to worry about, trying to get them exactly right. They're done for you. And I'm just going to fold that down with my bone folder. And then I've got a matching envelope, just a white envelope, and they come in vanilla as well. Okay, so let's have a little play here. Now, if you have the dies, they cut out some of the shapes in the paper, which is always a good thing. Like I said, I don't have this stamp set, so I'm going to be improvising. And this is actually something that Stampin' Up! Calls simple stamping, okay? There's lots and lots of nice things in here, and I'm just deciding which way to go. Now, the Art in Bloom set, which is got some really nice shapes, I'm thinking about using these. And like I said, making it up as I go along. What is the green? I think we've got Just Jade, Cajun Crows, Cinnamon Cider, Evening Evergreen, Garden Green, Grey Granite, Just Jade, and Whisper White. Okay, so here's my Just Jade. This is probably one of my most used greens. This is one of last year's in colours. And I've also got Grey Granite, which is probably one of my favourite neutrals. I've got a couple of favourite neutrals. I love this one. It's halfway in between beige and it's not as brown as crumb cake and not as grey as smoky slate. It's right in the middle. It's almost got a little bit of a mauve tone about it, so that's kind of cool. Now for the simple stamping challenge this month, Stampin' Up! Issues a challenge every month, and what they do is they give you a challenge using certain products, and it's got to be really, really simple. So it's usually stamps, ink, and paper. Some months that's all it is, so it just means I could stamp on this and nothing else. This month, because of the sale, they've let us use designer series paper as well. So I thought I would do just that, and I thought I'd use these stamps here to start kind of defining on my piece. Plus there's some nice words in here. I like the hello friend. And I've got this long strip of a stamp. I'm going to pop that down, pick it up with my block. And then I've also got some dots. And have I got another one of those? I think I do. Yes, I do. One of those. All right. So I'm going to start ink these up. And because I don't have the stamp set, I'm going to improvise. I'm going to use the paper, which is, I think, a really good way to go. I'm just, like I said, making this up as I go along, but I really like these stamps. I think they're really, really nice. I don't have the dies, so I'm going to cut myself out a pot. Which pot will I have? Lots to pick from. I think I might go with this little guy here. Although I like the terracotta too, but this is an evening evergreen pot, so I'm going to start with that one. Put the lid back on this because I can just see myself dipping my fingers in it. Yes, it is a card idea. I could use that, that's on my graph paper. All right, so I'm going to drop it on the floor. Can everyone hear me okay? I'm using my AirPods tonight and they seem to be working. I had some problems and then my husband took them and updated the software or something or other and they seem to be working much better now. So I had some problems there for a while, but so I'm just going to cut this shape out, leave a little bit of a border all the way around. So I wonder if this is going to be too fancy, given that they said you're only meant to, well, I'm using the DSP, right? And because I don't have, I just noticed these have all got their own pots. I tell you what I do have, I just remembered, I have a stamp set that I could use, and it's called, is it Window Box? Does anyone know the one I mean? Let me quickly find it. Welcoming Window, that's what it's called, and the Window Box dies are the matching dies. So look, I've got little plants here. So let's use these and pop them in. These are brand new. I've never used them before. I've had them for a while and was deciding what I was going to do with them. And I'm thinking I will go with the Just Jade again. Sound is good. Great. Thank you. Hey, Michelle. Nice to see you tonight. Thank you for coming to my Zoom yesterday. I really, really enjoyed it. Oh, and I just noticed there's some holes there for some flowers. So let's put those in. 4 flowers. I think it's this one. So this probably isn't as simple stamping as what they intended, but I like it. So where are those flowers? There they are. They go there. All right. Let's put these on. What color will we make our flowers? The colors in the paper include Cajun Craze. So it's very green, really. See, they haven't got any flowers on any of those plants. But what color shall we go? Anyone got any good ideas for what colors we should put on here? I would like to keep it fairly neutral. I could go with the Cajun Craze, or I could go with a yellow. I don't want to go red. I think that might be too bright. What do you guys think? Oh, that's a really nice stamp. I like this one. This one says, wish our paths crossed a little more often. Isn't it a nice stamp? Love that. I'm just wanting to make sure I get it around the right way, and my eyes, tell you what guys, I need a new glasses, I think. Okay, I think it goes that way. Yes, it does. All right, I'm going to go the Evening Evergreen, which is the dark green. I'm going to use that for my sentiment. I've got green on my fingers now. I need to be careful I don't end up putting that on my... Oh, whoa, it's upside down. All right. What do people say? Cajun, papaya, Cajun, or so saffron? They're all good choices. Who was the first? Anita, you're the first. So I'm going to get the Cajun. Do you know what? Cajun Craze is a color I hardly ever use. Hardly ever. Yeah, the papaya would look nice too. All right, I'm actually going to stamp this off because it's very dark. Can you see how dark that is? So I'm going to put my 4 flowers in the holes. I've stamped it off to make it a little lighter. And there they are. Now, this little guy here is going to go just here to be the pot that it all goes in. It's cute, huh? I was going to put a strip of paper down the side, but I'm actually thinking it doesn't need it. And I'm deciding whether I put the pot flat or put it on dimensionals. Maybe a dimensional? Or do you think that would be too fancy? Yeah, still adhesive, right? Actually, I quite like it just like it is, but I've got a tiny little smudge down here. So that looks like a great paste for a piece of pattern paper, I'm thinking. Super, super easy little card. See this? This might look nice down the bottom. So that's a good choice. What else have we got that would look nice? There's this that would look nice. Yeah, I know, just a simple, cute little card. Then there's a dark green. Maybe too dark. I love this one, but not for this card, but I love this. I would cut this in half, and then I've got, lovely dangly little foliage coming from the top of a whole bunch of cards. I really, really like it. All right, so I'm going to say we will go with Either this one, or do we go more neutral and go this one? So the neutral or the green leaves? I'm leaning towards the neutral. You think this green? This one, Beryl? Is that the one you're saying? The green leaves. Okay, so this one it is. That's what we're going to do. Move everything out of the way because I'm getting myself in a kerfuffle. You know how it is. I want to cover up this little bit of a smudge here. Now, this piece is 3.5 centimeters, 3.5 inches wide, and I'm going to bring in my trimmer and I'm going to cut this. You know what, guys? Confession time. I'm stamping in my pajamas tonight. I've got my jammy, and then I've remembered after I had my shower and got into my pajamas that my son needs to be picked up from work still. So I'm just going to make this a centimeter wide. All right, and this is 3.5 inches wide. I know I'm going between inches and centimeters, but that's the measurement of the card. Let's have a little look here. So this is going to go just here. And that actually goes from one side of the card to the other. I'm wondering if I should leave it at that exact measurement or make it a little shorter. Maybe I leave it at that measurement. You don't see a lot of it because it's thin. What do you guys think? Leave it? Okay. Leave it, we will. I'm just going to use my Tombow again, I think, because that's the quickest and easiest thing to use. And just pop it here. We'll cover up that little bit of a smudge, but also still is in with the brief of a simple stamped card. So simple stamping. So I've used 2 stamp sets. I've used the welcoming window to do the plant with the flowers. Then I've used the dots and the stripes from the Art in Bloom set, which I really like. And I love this wishing our paths crossed a little bit more often. Isn't that a nice sentiment? There it is right there, wishing our paths crossed a little more often. There are dies to match this. Obviously, I'm not using them on this card, but I really, really like them. They're called window box dies, I'm pretty sure. Yep, window flower box dies. I'll show them to you. They're, like I said, I haven't even used these. Do you know why I bought these? Here's a funny thing. My daughter wanted me to make a Narnia card, and we don't really have anything with a wardrobe at the moment. But I thought I could make a wardrobe potentially out of this shutter look here, the window. So, and these ones here cut out the flowers that we just stamped, these. And there's hinges for the windows and the shutters. And then there's also a cute little jug and a pot and little tiny weenie pots. So very, very cute. If you like your plants, this is a nice set that's not all about flowers. I know sometimes people say, oh, you know, not more flower sets. Do you know why they keep on bringing out flower sets? Because they're the most popular ones. They're the ones everybody buys over and over and over, and they're the ones that sell out. So they will always do flower sets, but I do sometimes like, even though I do like my flowers, I also like to find other sets like this one that is something a little bit different, not just flowers. You know, you've got other things that you can do. I know, they're really nice, aren't they? They're very cool. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. So that's a very simple little card. I mean, I could have done it without this piece. I'm not 100% sure that that little bit there added anything. I might do a second one and just do the stamping and a pot and forego this little bit. But I added it because I had a smudge that I wanted to cover. And, you know, that's always good to cover a smudge, right? All right. So there you go. A nice, simple little card. And that took us up to the hour. Not that I'm trying to be an hour, but it's sort of, I figure that if I'm around that time, it probably is, that's probably what people are thinking. Oh, it might be an hour or so. So there you go. Yeah. You could put another piece across the top. I like the fact, I actually like it weighted towards the bottom. That's where I think though that the bit of paper maybe was one too many thing on the bottom. I think I might have preferred it just without that. But I could easily make a whole bunch of them, and they're easy cards to make. So very simple. There you go. The other thing you could do is you could make a piece that goes here. So this is 5 1/8 of an inch, this piece. So let's quickly do this. So I can't help myself. Now I'm doing more stuff. Feel free to go if you, if you don't want to stick around with me, but I hope you don't mind. I'm going to do one more thing. All right, so I'm going to do 5 1/8, which is the measurement of my envelope. And then this piece here is how big? About 2 inches, so, or 5 centimeters. So let's just cut a piece there. So this piece now is the right measurement to go here on here. So if you want to make your envelopes look really, really fancy, this is a really easy way to do it. Okay, I'm going to get my Tombow again, and I'm going to put my Tombow onto the envelope, not onto the paper, onto the envelope. And I'm going to put it all the way from the corner across, down here. This is something you can do to all your envelopes, and it's super nice. It just makes them look really fancy. All right, so I'm lining this up with the top of the envelope, just like that. Okay, and now I'm going to open this up, and this overlap bit, the overhang, I'm just going to trim that off. Super, super, super easy. And instantly makes your cards look really special. So I'm just using the original line of the envelope. Just tell me where to cut. Oh. Just like that. And now I have a super cute card and a matching envelope. See, isn't that cool? Oh, thank you. I'm glad that that's nice. Oh, thanks, Trudy. That's lovely. So I'm going to leave my card just like this, but you could, of course, add more papers. You could have your long, skinny stamps going down instead of across. Although I kind of like the way it hinges the bit of paper there. So I'm going to submit this for the Simple Stamping Challenge for Stampin' Up, because they love it when we do simple stamping cards, because it proves to people out there that stamping is not a tricky hobby. It's not difficult, and anyone can do this. So I think that looks really nice. Okay, guys. Well, I hope everyone's going to have a great week ahead. Thank you very much. I don't know, we've got 2 more weeks of lockdown that we know about. Of course, they will extend it if we haven't got this thing under control. But, I'll still be crafting. I am going to do a Zoom catalogs launch next month, whether we have lockdown or we don't. So if anyone's interested in that, shoot me a message, and I will make sure that I do a Zoom meeting and anyone can join in. But we'll talk about how that's going to work. Yeah. Anyway, I hope everyone is well. Look after yourselves. Have a great week. And just make it a good one, because we only get to have this week once. So let's make this a really great week. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.